Have you ever received a phone call claiming to be from your bank, warning about suspicious activity on your account? Or perhaps an email from a family member in desperate need of money? If so, you're not alone. Today's scammers are more sophisticated than ever before, and they're specifically targeting our generation with alarming success. Before we begin, if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any future videos. If you enjoy this video, please type "solid" in the comments so we know which content impacts you the most. I want to share a story that still breaks my heart. Margaret, a retired teacher from Ohio, received a call one afternoon from someone claiming to be her grandson. The voice sounded different, but the caller explained he had a cold. He said he'd been arrested while traveling and needed $8,000 for bail money. Worried sick, Margaret withdrew the money and wired it as instructed. Only when she called her daughter later that evening did she discover her real grandson was safely at home, never having made that call. Margaret had fallen victim to what's known as the grandparent scam, and sadly, she never recovered that money. Stories like Margaret's are why I'm so passionate about this topic. According to the FBI, seniors lose more than $3 billion annually to scammers, with the average victim losing $9,175. That's not just pocket change, that's retirement savings, medical funds, and the financial security many of us have worked our entire lives to build. What makes this particularly troubling is that scammers deliberately target our generation for several reasons. First, many of us have accumulated significant savings over our lifetimes. Second, we often weren't raised in the digital era, making some of the technical warning signs less obvious to us. And third, scammers cynically exploit our generation's tendency to be more trusting and polite, qualities that served us well throughout our lives but can make us vulnerable in today's environment. In this video, we'll explore the most common scams targeting seniors today, the psychological tactics scammers use to manipulate us, and most importantly, the specific, practical steps you can take to protect yourself and your hard-earned savings. I'll share real examples from our viewers who've encountered these scams, both those who unfortunately fell victim and those who recognized the warning signs and protected themselves. Let's start by understanding the most prevalent scam currently targeting seniors, the government impersonation scam. This is when someone contacts you claiming to be from a government agency like Social Security, Medicare, or the IRS. They typically create a sense of urgency by saying there's a problem with your benefits, your account has been compromised, or you owe money that must be paid immediately to avoid severe consequences. James from Florida shared his experience with us. I received a call from someone claiming to be from Social Security. They said my number had been used in criminal activity and my benefits would be suspended unless I verified my information. They knew my name and the last 4 digits of my Social Security number, which made them seem legitimate. When they asked me to confirm my full Social Security number, something felt off. I told them I'd call Social Security directly using the official number from their website. The caller became aggressive, which confirmed my suspicions. When I called the real Social Security office, they confirmed it was a scam. James did exactly the right thing. Government agencies like Social Security, Medicare, and the IRS will never call you demanding immediate payment or threatening to arrest you. They communicate primarily through official letters sent via U.S. mail. If you receive a call claiming to be from a government agency, never provide personal information like your Social Security number, Medicare number, or banking details over the phone to someone who called you. Don't trust caller ID, as scammers can manipulate it to display official-looking numbers, a technique called spoofing. If you're concerned the call might be legitimate, hang up and call the agency directly using the official number from their website or a recent statement, not the number the caller provided. Remember, legitimate government agencies won't demand payment via unusual methods like gift cards, wire transfers, or cryptocurrency. The second major category of scams targeting seniors involves tech support. These scams typically begin with a pop-up message on your computer warning about a virus, or a phone call from someone claiming to be from Microsoft, Apple, or another tech company. They'll claim your computer has been infected or your accounts have been compromised, creating immediate fear and urgency. Barbara from Arizona shared, "I was using my computer when a loud alarm sound played and a message appeared saying my computer was infected with a virus. It looked very official with the Microsoft logo and everything. It said to call the number on screen immediately or risk losing all my data. When I called, the person said they were from Microsoft Security and needed remote access to my computer to fix the problem. They also said I needed to pay $499 for special security software. Fortunately, I remembered your video about tech scams and hung up. Later, my grandson helped me close the pop-up message and explained it was just a website designed to scare me." Barbara's instincts saved her from a common scam. Legitimate tech companies don't monitor your computer and won't contact you unprompted about viruses or security issues. They certainly won't demand immediate payment for fixing problems you didn't report. If you encounter a suspicious tech support situation, never give remote access to your computer to someone who contacted you out of the blue. Don't call phone numbers displayed in pop-up messages or alerts on your screen. If you're concerned about your computer's security, contact a trusted local computer repair service or call the official customer support for your device using the number from their official website. Be especially wary of anyone asking for payment via gift cards, wire transfers, or cryptocurrency. Legitimate businesses don't operate this way. The third major scam category we need to discuss involves romance and friendship. These scams prey on our human desire for connection, which can be especially powerful for those who may be experiencing loneliness after losing a spouse or as friends and family move away. These scams typically begin on social media platforms, dating websites, or even through unsolicited emails. The scammer creates a fake profile and begins building what feels like a genuine emotional connection. They're patient, often communicating for weeks or months before asking for money. When they do, it's usually framed as a temporary emergency, medical bills, travel expenses to finally meet you, or a business opportunity they need help with. Eleanor from California shared her heartbreaking experience with us. "After my husband of 42 years passed away, I was incredibly lonely. I joined Facebook to keep up with my grandchildren, and that's where I met Richard. He said he was a widowed engineer working on a project overseas. We messaged daily for 3 months, and he was so attentive and caring. When he said his project had payment issues and he needed $5,000 to come home to the US, I wanted to help. I sent the money via wire transfer. Then there was another emergency, and another. I lost $32,000 before my daughter discovered what was happening and helped me realize it was a scam. The worst part wasn't even the money, it was feeling like I'd lost someone I cared about all over again." Eleanor's story illustrates how these scammers exploit our emotions. They're incredibly skilled at creating false intimacy and manufacturing emergencies that trigger our natural desire to help someone we care about. To protect yourself from romance and friendship scams, be wary of new online relationships that progress very quickly, especially if the person declares strong feelings or love in a short time. Be suspicious if they always have excuses for why they can't video chat or meet in person. Research the person by searching their name, photos, and details of their story online. Often, scammers reuse photos and stories across multiple victims. Never send money to someone you haven't met in person, no matter how compelling their emergency seems. If you're developing an online relationship, share details with trusted friends or family members who can offer an objective perspective. The fourth category of scams targeting seniors involves investment opportunities that promise high returns with little or no risk. These scams have become increasingly sophisticated, often creating fake websites, testimonials, and documentation that make them appear legitimate. Robert from Texas shared, "I received a call about investing in precious metals as a hedge against inflation. The caller knew I was retired and talked about how uncertain the economy was becoming. He said their special program guaranteed 15% annual returns with no risk because the metals were physically stored in a secure vault. I was skeptical but interested. When I asked for written information, they sent professional-looking brochures and even had a website with testimonials. I invested $25,000 of my retirement savings. 6 months later, when I tried to access my investment, the company had disappeared. The website was gone, and the phone numbers were disconnected. Robert's experience highlights how these investment scammers create an illusion of legitimacy while promising returns that are simply too good to be true. To protect yourself from investment scams, remember the golden rule: if an investment promises returns that are significantly higher than standard market rates with no risk, it's almost certainly a scam. Verify any investment opportunity with a trusted financial advisor who isn't connected to the offer. Check the registration status and background of anyone offering to sell you investments using the SEC's Investment Advisor Public Disclosure Database or FINRA's Broker Check service. Be especially wary of investments that create artificial time pressure, claiming the opportunity will disappear if you don't act immediately. Never make investment decisions based solely on unsolicited phone calls, emails, or social media messages. The fifth major scam category involves fake charities, which often surge after natural disasters or during holiday seasons when our generosity is at its peak. These scams are particularly insidious because they exploit our compassion and desire to help others in need. William from Florida told us, "After Hurricane Michael hit our state, I received a call from what sounded like a legitimate relief organization. They described the desperate situation of families who had lost everything and needed immediate help. The caller was passionate and persuasive, and I agreed to donate $500. I gave them my credit card information over the phone. Later that week, I discovered several unauthorized charges on my card totaling over $3,000. When I tried to contact the charity again, the number was disconnected." William's experience shows how charity scammers not only steal your initial donation but may also use your payment information for additional fraud. To protect yourself from charity scams, never make donations over the phone to organizations that call you unsolicited. Research charities before donating using resources like Charity Navigator, GuideStar, or the Better Business Bureau's Wise Giving Alliance. Verify the charity's contact information independently through an internet search rather than using the phone number or website provided by the solicitor. Be wary of charity names that closely resemble well-known organizations but aren't quite the same. Consider making donations directly through a charity's official website rather than through intermediaries. The sixth category involves medical and health-related scams, which have proliferated dramatically in recent years. These scams often target seniors by offering miracle cures, discount medications, or free medical equipment. Martha from Arizona shared, "I saw an advertisement for a special knee brace that promised to eliminate arthritis pain without surgery or medication. The ad featured testimonials from people my age who claimed it changed their lives. When I called, they said Medicare would cover it completely if I just provided my Medicare number for billing purposes. Fortunately, I remembered that Medicare doesn't call beneficiaries to offer equipment, so I declined and reported it. Later I learned this was a common scam to collect Medicare information for fraudulent billing." Martha's awareness saved her from potential medical identity theft. To protect yourself from health-related scams, be skeptical of products claiming to be miracle cures or treatments that mainstream medicine hasn't recognized. Never provide your Medicare or insurance information to unsolicited callers or visitors. Consult with your doctor before purchasing medical devices or supplements, especially those advertised with extraordinary claims. Order prescription medications only from licensed pharmacies you know and trust. Remember that legitimate medical providers don't typically advertise free equipment or services that are then billed to Medicare. Now that we've covered the 6 most common scam categories, let's discuss the psychological tactics scammers use to bypass our natural defenses. Understanding these tactics is crucial because they work regardless of how intelligent or cautious you normally are. The first tactic is creating a sense of urgency. Scammers don't want you to have time to think critically or consult with others. They'll claim your account will be frozen, you'll be arrested, or a special offer will expire if you don't act immediately. This urgency triggers our fight-or-flight response, making it harder to think clearly. The second tactic is authority manipulation. Scammers impersonate government officials, bank employees, or tech company representatives to exploit our natural tendency to comply with authority figures. They may use official-sounding titles, reference badge numbers, or mention laws and regulations to seem legitimate. The third tactic is emotional manipulation. Whether it's fear, your computer has a dangerous virus, excitement, you've won a prize, or compassion, I need your help, scammers deliberately trigger strong emotions that can override logical thinking. The fourth tactic is social proof. Scammers may claim that many people in your area have already participated in their program or show fake testimonials from people similar to you. This exploits our tendency to follow what others are doing, especially those we identify with. The fifth tactic is reciprocity. Scammers might offer something small for free to create a sense of obligation that makes you more likely to comply with their larger requests later. This could be free information, a small gift, or special attention. Understanding these tactics gives you power. When you recognize them being used, it's a strong indicator that you're dealing with a scam, regardless of how legitimate everything else seems. The key is to step back, pause, and evaluate the situation without the pressure of urgency or emotion. Let's now explore the specific protective measures you can implement to shield yourself from these scams. These aren't just general suggestions, they're concrete actions you can take today to significantly reduce your risk. The first and perhaps most powerful protection is to establish a personal delay policy for any financial decision. This means committing to never making financial decisions during the same conversation in which they're first proposed. Instead, tell the person you need to think about it overnight, consult with family, or review your budget. Legitimate organizations will respect this boundary, scammers will typically pressure you to ignore it. The second protective measure is to create a trusted contact network. Identify 2 or 3 people you trust, perhaps adult children, close friends, or financial advisors, and agree that you'll consult with them before making any financial decision over a certain amount. Many banks now offer formal, trusted contact programs where you can designate someone the bank can contact if they notice suspicious activity on your account. Martha from Michigan shared how this saved her. My son and I had an agreement that I'd call him before sending money to anyone new. When I received what I thought was an email from my pastor asking for gift cards to help a family in crisis, I almost rushed to help. But I remembered our agreement and called my son first. He pointed out several red flags in the email that I hadn't noticed, and when we contacted my pastor directly, we confirmed it was a scam. That simple phone call saved me $500. The third protective measure is to secure your technology. This includes setting up strong, unique passwords for each of your important accounts, especially email and banking. Enabling two-factor authentication whenever possible, which requires both your password and a code sent to your phone to access accounts. Keeping your devices updated with the latest security patches and software updates. Installing reputable antivirus software on your computer. Learning how to spot suspicious emails and text messages, looking for misspellings, generic greetings, and suspicious links. Robert from California told us, after attending your workshop on senior scams, I set up two-factor authentication on my email account. A month later, I received an alert that someone in another country was trying to access my email. Thanks to the extra security, they couldn't get in even though they had somehow obtained my password. That simple change protected not just my email but all the accounts that could be reset through my email. The fourth protective measure is to optimize your phone setup to reduce scam calls. Consider registering your number with the National Do Not Call Registry, donotcall.gov or 1-888-382-1222. Installing a call blocking app on your smartphone or using a call blocking device for landlines. Letting unknown calls go to voicemail, legitimate callers will leave a message. Programming important numbers into your phone so you know when trusted contacts are calling. Helen from Florida shared, I was getting 15 to 20 spam calls daily, many claiming to be from Medicare or Social Security. After installing a call blocking app my grandson recommended, those calls dropped to maybe 1 or 2 a week. The peace of mind this has given me is tremendous. I no longer dread answering my phone. The fifth protective measure is to freeze your credit with all 3 major credit bureaus, Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion. A credit freeze prevents anyone from opening new accounts in your name, even if they have your personal information. You can temporarily lift the freeze when you legitimately need to apply for credit. This service is free and doesn't affect your credit score or existing accounts. William from Texas told us, after hearing about credit freezes on your channel, I set them up with all 3 bureaus. 6 months later, someone tried to open a credit card in my name using information they'd stolen from a data breach. The application was automatically rejected because of the freeze, and I received a notification about the attempt. Without that freeze, I might not have discovered the fraud until significant damage was done. The sixth protective measure is to establish secure communication channels with your financial institutions. This means knowing exactly how your bank, investment firms, and insurance companies will legitimately contact you. Having their official contact information readily available, not searching for it when you need it, which might lead to fake websites. Setting up and regularly monitoring online access to your accounts so you can quickly spot unauthorized transactions. Never clicking on links in emails or texts that appear to be from financial institutions. Instead, type the official website address directly into your browser. Barbara from Arizona shared, I received an urgent text message claiming to be from my bank about suspicious activity on my debit card. Instead of clicking the link, I called the number on the back of my actual card. The bank confirmed there was no suspicious activity and that the text was a scam attempt. Had I clicked that link, I would have been taken to a fake website designed to steal my login credentials. Now, let's address what to do if you suspect you've already been scammed. First and foremost, don't feel ashamed. These criminals are professionals who have refined their techniques on thousands of victims. Even experts can be fooled by sophisticated scams. What's important is taking quick action to minimize the damage. If you've shared financial information or sent money, contact your bank or credit card company immediately to report the fraud and prevent further losses. Change your online banking passwords and any other accounts that share the same password. Place a fraud alert on your credit reports by contacting any one of the 3 major credit bureaus. Report the scam to local law enforcement and get a police report, which can help with disputing fraudulent charges. File a complaint with the Federal Trade Commission at reportfraud.ftc.gov or call 1-877-382-4357. If you've shared personal information like your Social Security number, place a credit freeze with all 3 major credit bureaus. Contact the Social Security Administration's fraud hotline at 1-800-269-0271. Consider enrolling in identity monitoring services that can alert you to suspicious activity. If the scam involved Medicare, contact the Medicare fraud hotline at 1-800-633-4227. James from Ohio shared his experience after falling victim to a scam. I was embarrassed and initially didn't want to tell anyone. But once I reported it to my bank and the FTC, I felt empowered rather than victimized. The bank was able to recover some of my money, and the FTC used my report to help warn others. Now I share my story openly because I know it helps protect my friends and community. Beyond these specific protective measures, developing a healthy skepticism is your best defense against scams. This doesn't mean becoming cynical or distrustful of everyone, but rather approaching unexpected financial requests or opportunities with appropriate caution. A helpful framework is what I call the scam check, for questions to ask yourself when faced with a potential scam. Sudden, did this request or opportunity come unexpectedly, without any prior indication? C. Confidential, is the person asking you to keep this matter private or not discuss it with others? Action required, are you being pressured to act immediately without time to think? M. Money or information, are you being asked to send money or provide sensitive personal information? If you answer yes to 2 or more of these questions, proceed with extreme caution and consult with your trusted contact network before taking any action. Eleanor, whose story we shared earlier about losing money in a romance scam, now uses this framework. If I had applied the scam check when Richard first asked for money, I would have recognized all 4 warning signs were present. It was a sudden emergency. He asked me not to tell anyone because he was embarrassed, he needed the money immediately, and of course, he was asking for funds. Now I use this simple check for any request, and it's helped me identify and avoid several other scam attempts. As we conclude our discussion on protecting your savings from modern scams, I want to emphasize that staying safe isn't about living in fear. It's about empowering yourself with knowledge and practical tools that become second nature over time. The protective measures we've discussed, establishing a personal delay policy, creating a trusted contact network, securing your technology, optimizing your phone setup, freezing your credit, and establishing secure communication channels with financial institutions, form a robust defense system that significantly reduces your vulnerability. Remember that scammers count on catching you off guard and triggering emotional responses that bypass your rational thinking. By recognizing their tactics and having predetermined protocols in place, you take away their most powerful weapons. It's also worth noting that protecting yourself from scams isn't just about preserving your financial resources, though that's certainly important. It's also about maintaining your independence and peace of mind. When you feel confident in your ability to recognize and avoid scams, you can engage with the world more freely, without unnecessary fear or isolation. What stood out to you the most from today's discussion? Which of these protective measures do you feel you can implement right away? We'd love to hear from you, so leave a comment below sharing one thing you learned in this video and how you plan to bring it into practice in your life. Your thoughts are important to us, so don't hesitate to share them. Reading your comments gives us great motivation and encouragement. If you found this information helpful, please like, subscribe, and share this video with friends and family members who might benefit from it. Your support helps us continue creating content that protects and empowers our community. Thanks for watching, and we look forward to seeing you in the next video. Remember, staying informed is your best defense. Scammers constantly evolve their tactics, but the fundamental principles of protection remain the same. By implementing the strategies we've discussed today and staying alert to new scam techniques, you can enjoy your retirement years with confidence, knowing your hard-earned savings are secure from those who would try to take advantage of you. After all, the peace of mind that comes from knowing you're protected is truly priceless.